Welcome everyone to another episode of Buy vs. Crime. My name is Mid J, and today what we have is, I'll take away the suspense, it's a cry. Unfortunately, not because of shipping damages, even though this is probably not the best way to ship it, it somehow arrived in good shape. We have an all-time classic, Sonic Adventure. Sonic Adventure has been on my list for some time as I've been trying to beef up my Dreamcast collection. And if you collect games, well, this is a good one to have. Sonic Adventure is a classic that will seemingly continue to go up in price, and everything looks pretty darn good about this. The jewel case is in excellent shape, which to some that's kind of a red flag because you know that these things tend to get cracked and scratched. It's not like people were buying these and planning to collect them. So these cases can easily get damaged. The disc, which I have in here already, is in good shape. No scratches, no hairline fractures. Everything looks pretty good. The manual, excellent shape. I didn't see any writings, any folds, any creases, anything of that sense of type of damage. But what got me, and may want to look at your collections or not, the spine. The spine usually has a clean, flat, flush finish to the spine. In this one, it was bent at an angle, and I thought, okay, not exactly the worst, but an indicator that something's wrong. So what I did was I started looking even further, and I noticed that the colors seemed to be a little bit off. The colors, like the red, seemed a little bit pushed a little bit, and then on the blues a little bit flat. Still not a dead giveaway, but I looked closer at the fine print, and the fine print was actually kind of blurry, almost unreadable. And what I did is I got another game just to make sure that, you know what, maybe I'm tripping, maybe I'm not. No, it comes in excellent shape and excellent printing. The fine print is totally clean and crisp. So I knew that there's definitely something up with this one. But the nail in the coffin was that I actually opened it up, and it was actually already kind of somewhat open in this section. But what you do is you pry this section very carefully, and you're able to, there's 4 sections, one lock here, another one here, another one here, another one here. Carefully pry this open, and what I was able to prove is that the edges here were not perforated. The reasoning for the perforations are so that this section can actually be flushed. What I noticed is that the paper felt like a photocopy, and it being that you can now, because it's hard to tell with the edges of the jewel case that it's folded, but once I was able to take it apart, I could clearly see that the edges were not perforated, and they were actually bent into place to give the illusion of that 90-degree angle. But had they creased it a little bit more and actually left it kind of like this side, I probably would have been fooled. And that's the whole reason for this, is as collectors, you buy these for several reasons. 1, nostalgia. 2, because you want the original. And 3, because it's somewhat of an investment. These games will only continue to rise in value, so that's very satisfying. If you wanted to just game on them, well, just go get a PC, go get an emulator, boom, you got all the games. But you have this for the experience, and because you know that in time, these are only going to go up even more. I don't plan on selling it, I'm not planning on flipping it, but in the back of my head, I like to know that whatever I have is original, and if I really needed to, I could sell these off and get my money back, at least for what I paid for. So folks, be careful out there. Hopefully this is another indicator for you guys to look out for. Always try to do your research as much as you can, but a lot of times sellers like to not either be clear about things, or they like to only put a limited amount of photos. Typically a listing like on eBay will have 10 to 12 pictures. That's usually a pretty good sign that you're on a good path. When they have 1 to 2, well, what's on that backside? What does the spine look like? Is the disc in good shape? Let me see the back of the disc. How many discs are there? What about the manual? How's that look? The more pictures, the better. And in this case, I did message the seller if that back was a print, and sure enough, the seller did claim that they forgot to mention that in the listing. Now, I purchased this through Mercari, so if you guys are familiar with Mercari, you get 3 days. It doesn't matter when you actually get to it. From the time that it gets delivered, that's when the clock starts. It could be sitting in your mailbox, and you're counting down the time. Best to, if you sometimes you find deals on Mercari, but a lot of times you find some funky stuff like this, and you got to be careful. Hopefully this serves as good advice for you guys. Good luck on your future collecting, and hopefully you guys come across excellent deals. And I was able to already find another one on eBay, so hopefully the next one is in good shape. Anyways, you guys take care. Don't forget to catch us on our live streams and our podcast, The Backlog, where we talk about whatever's been happening in gaming and our old collection. You guys have a good one, and I'll see you guys soon. Y'all take care.